Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Pony Panels. Yes, it's been a long time since we've revisited the comic series in any way, shape, or form. In fact, the last time we did it was right after the mid-season break. But that's the cool thing about the comics. It gives us Pony without the long wait. And well, the main comic's next arc, well, its latest arc, has been a throne of some contention. But it's one of the best written and continuity rich arcs in the entire comics franchise. You see, the next four in the comic series 34 through 37, known as Siege of the Crystal Empire, is a direct connect to the Fiendship is Magic series that we reviewed earlier. I'll link to my thoughts on that arc in the description for you to enjoy. Because in order to enjoy Siege of the Crystal Empire, you almost have to read nearly the entirety of the Fiendship is Magic series. But the comics that are most important are the Chrysalis comic and, of course, comic number 1. The Sombra comic. Why? Because Sombra is the main attachment in Siege of the Crystal Empire. You see, Siege picks up at the Crystal Fair. Nice timing. Cadence, Shining, and Harmony 6 are, of course, in attendance. But there's also someone else in attendance. Radiant Hope. That's right. The chick from that comic is here now. Sombra's best friend and, let's straight up be honest, love interest is back. And she's only got one thing on the mind: revenge and payback and resurrection to boot. To resurrect her best friend, to try to rekindle the relationship and possibly have the happy ending that she was looking for. To do this, though, she's gonna need help. And she gets it in the form of classic villains. Chrysalis, the Flim Flams, Lightning Dust, and for some strange reason, they choose Iron Will. I don't necessarily view Iron Will as a villain, but I guess outside of resurrecting Tyrek from Tartarus again, I guess it's your next best option, but not the one that I would have selected. Using this ragtag group, Hope actually succeeds in resurrecting Sombra and attaining the Crystal Heart. But, of course, Sombra's thankful for reunion, but has bigger plots in hand, resurrecting his fellow brothers, the Omrum, known only before this point as Shadow Ponies. The Omrum are a fearsome thing to look at the panels. aggressively drawn, almost with an ink paint style that brings an eerie, dreamlike occurrence. These things like to devour emotion, any emotion. Motion. And it's hope that Samra can lead them, and that they can find a level of understanding. Of course, the Harmony 6 and Cadence, along with Shining, who gets quickly dealt with, and even the royal princesses themselves are no match for the super team, with Celestia and Luna in stone, Twilight essentially powerless, and Cadence essentially powerless. It looks like the villains have won. But Cadence notices Hope's soft spot and actually agrees to have a heart-to-heart with the Umram, led by their own evil Queen Riva. But the Umram aren't having any of that ish, and neither is Sombra. Sombra is consumed with power and ruling the day. But leave it to Hope and her hopes for who Sombra could become: someone of trust, someone good. Despite all the evil, the enslavery, the near killings, and even a killing of a Princess Prior, she held out faith and showed true love. And it's only after Sombra makes a stupid remark questioning Hope's individuality that she finally snaps back and admits that the only reason she did any of this was for him, for love, for friendship. That's right, betraying kingdom, nearly killing and enslaving it to an evil race, all for one. It is upon Somra's understanding of this and the many self-sacrifice that Sombra finally decides to do something right, and using the power of the heart itself defeats the Umram. Their reward? Sombra is given life, a body again. Happy endings all around. Typical for the FIM comic. Its moral is about not looking at the deeds that one has done, or how they look on the outside, but how they are on the inside, and believing that true spirit will shine through regardless of how deep the darkness is. This comic does make some creative decisions that fans may not like. They may not understand Hope's motivation for doing it all. But from my deeper analysis, and this is where the fun kicks in, this is about true love and doing whatever it takes to either defend it or attain it. A kind of blood love, if you will. You see, Hope, in a pop culture term, was keeping it 100. She was 100% committed, 100% in, regardless if it looked for a time that Samra did not. But in truth, if you paid attention to Fiendship, that's all that Samra really wanted. To have someone to care about him. To have somebody to share life's moments with. To feel an equal, not so different. To be treated as others would be treated. And not quickly judged upon a society that did not understand him. That's all he wanted. And that's what Hope gave him. Giving up several crystal fairs in the process. Giving up her home. And even what she saw through the power of the crystal heart. An alicorn destiny. Giving it up. For him. For love. For a chance to have a friend. For some, the reasonings that she takes and the actions she takes may be too aggressive and worthy of punishment. And yes, it is a crime and is deserved to be punished. But again, friendship is magic isn't in the punishments, is it? It's in the resolution. It's in the understanding. It's in the building bridges. To redeem one of FIM's greatest villains, one with a backstory so tragic, it's almost Shakespearean in nature. It's a grand task, and it's accomplished. Although Samra's emotional side and feelings may not be expressed explicitly on the page, the fact that Radiant, regardless, is spared. Even when Samra has claimed victory and the Omrum seem to run rampant, she still lives. There was still a part of even one of the most evil villains ever that had good in him. The good you saw and read if you read the initial comic. But no need to worry, because comic 2 of the series fills you in. 35 to be more specific. By recapping the entire Fiendship is Magic comic in its first few pages. But the strangest thing about this comic is it reached me personally. How, you might ask? It reached me personally because judgmental society that looks upon Samra as a threat or lesser because he's different. Because he's something that people don't understand or easily can classify. Because of something that Samra isn't or can't do. The Crystal Heart judged him harshly. Yes, it judged him correctly, but it judged him harshly. No different than a person with disabilities. People with disabilities often get judged by their physical look, or even worse, their mental state. Society, well, some, judge disabled people as not true people. Their opportunities lessened because of what they can't do, instead of their talents being nurtured, instead of what makes them worthy being praised or thanked. Yes, occasionally there's organizations like the Special Olympics that honor us in the best way possible. But most of the time, it isn't true. Most of the time, when a disabled person is used in a form of media or a form of art, it's usually formed in a negative opinion. In a country that is predestined to give equal opportunity, when it comes to disabled people, that opportunity is lessened. Choice is removed. Disabled people are often forced to fight strict battles just for inalienable rights. They are not given choice. This comic, above all else, much like Season 5 as a whole, shows the power and influence of choice. And how, when someone experiences something and yet it is taken away, not by choice, but by societal difference, it can breed resentment, hatred, anger. It can make those on the societal other end or the misunderstood fight back in anger, wish for the world to burn. That, in truth, was how Samra felt. Samra felt dishonored, disrespected, ripped of his choice, and so did the Amram. The Amram felt that they had as much of a right to society and much of a right to life as any other creature. But the reason why Samra went down the evil path he did was because all the world showed him was hate. Radiant Hope was the brave one, much like people in disabled relationships around the world through many diseases, many people that help disabled children or people with autism. There are people, paid or otherwise, that sacrifice their time, their hearts, to make these people feel equal, to make the disadvantaged feel advantaged, or at least equal. Radiant felt, if I have to choose between leaving my best friend because he's different behind, or achieving the highest level, I'll take my friend. Because what good is achieving the highest level if it cannot be shared? What good is living life if it cannot be shared? That's why she took those crystal fairs and sped it by Samra's side. What good is having the ability, the choice, to do whatever you want when sometimes in relationships and sometimes in life in general, the choice isn't equal. All that Radiant was trying to do, despite the evil deeds, was give Summer a choice. A choice that no one gave him, because they judged him. They judged him for deeds. They judged him for a premonition. They did not wonder if there was someone genuine, someone good. They assumed out of fear, just because of how he looked, that he was something inherently evil. They judged by appearance, not by spirit. Much like disabled people, we are judged by spirit, by some, but by most, by the American workforce, we are judged by appearance. Or even worse, we are judged by our mental ability. We are judged by what we can and cannot do. The world does not understand or does not know how to utilize our talents. In truth, as disabled or disadvantaged, we are the Sombras, shunned into our own societies, cast away and judged. We are the Sombras. However, because Hope chose to be a ray of her own name, to give choice, she too was also judged harshly, much like those that show an olive branch to help the weak, to help those given no choice to have a choice. Those people that sacrifice for the disabled and disadvantaged are the truly pure-hearted, the ones that truly love. Because even they, even though they have many greater options, talents, or abilities, instead choose it to help us, the disadvantaged, to make us feel just normal. Normal enough. That's all that Summer really wanted to be. Much like every other disabled person that ever dreams, that ever has the intelligence to dream, all we wish to be is treated normal, equally. This comic goes much deeper than a story that you could say is filled with some flaws, but its heart is undeniable. Its moral is outstanding. Take a moment to think about any cultures, any cliques that you have either been a part of or know. Think about the disadvantaged. Think about the homeless. Think about the sick and the dying. The ones whose choices seem limited, but their hearts seem full. Do not judge people on appearance. Judge them on spirit instead. As my cohort with autism would say, have the heart to think positively. Have the courage to stand up and treat everyone equally, regardless of how you may be judged. As for the comic gets a stellar 5 out of 6 on the Harmony scale. It's a must read. You may not agree with this feeling. You may not see it at first. But do not judge based on the review alone. Read it for yourself. See what you can find. Because in every panel, there's a bit of truth. Until next time, find peace in your own nirvana. And thanks for watching.